Summer is here in ERLC, and as usual, we're going to talk about maps. Starting with the classic. I believe this was designed in 2021 and is reposted many times, pretty much every summer since. And as you can see, this is based on the old map. We've got no Springfield. This is before the highway was a thing, before all of that expansion. So yeah, I suppose we'll revisit this, take a look at the ideas, what they got right, what they got wrong, because it's interesting to see. The highway, they did get correct, and it actually goes into River City. I suppose Freedom Avenue has turned into a road like this down at the bottom, and there is a highway that goes up and around, but it doesn't go around the entire map. They also moved the entire housing suburb out here, expanding the dirt roads over here on the right, which they did do, and added another tiny housing suburb down here in the bottom right. It's fun to look back at old map designs before the summer 2022 expansion and see what people were predicting, what they got right and what they got wrong. Now this one was made with the new map, and it's an interesting one for sure. As you can see, it all looks pretty normal down here, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. But as we scroll up, we have got the urbanization of Liberty County. So it looks like the highway actually goes over Riverside Drive, and then we've got a massive intersection here, links up onto Riverside Drive. I don't even know what this is. Like, are these city buildings? Are these housing estates? I really do not know, but that is a lot of squares. We've got another like mini High-Rock Park up here. It looks like yeah, that is pretty much all. And also a road coming from the housing suburb. Our first one made with the map screenshot. So this one is, again, proposing we have a circular highway, or relatively circular. Essentially, it goes around the entire map. Now, interesting enough, they've added a bunch of dirt roads connecting to High-Rock Park and kind of going all up here. We've got a massive lake up here with boat ramps. But surprisingly, they haven't done anything with this area over here. I would have thought, you know, maybe they put some dirt roads up here, because currently in game, this is barren, empty land. But yeah, no, they just had the highway come through. Interesting. They had a new city with a beach up here, lake with boat ramps, and then extending Riverside Drive. So it extends all the way to the bottom and then all the way to the top. I definitely like to see some more dirt trails. They're fun to drive around, but that can be done without expanding the map. We've got lots of areas easily add dirt roads to, and especially over here, just above the Hansberg, bunch of room that they could add dirt roads to without actually expanding the map. So it'd be pretty simple. Now this one is quite interesting, since this is actually based on the next map we're going to view. So this is like an adaptation of the current map, a concept of a concept. So take a look at the original map in just a moment, and that's all this area over here. But they've expanded it right down over here. We've got a state park with wildlife protection down here. We've got a new lake, regional airport we'll look at in a minute. We've got a marina docks. So essentially this would mean that Liberty County is on the edge, seemingly on the west of the United States, or the fictional United States. Or maybe this is just a massive lake, but that is one big lake anyways. We've got a bit of an island, Fergie Island over here. We've also got Brentwood National Park with the town of Brentwood. So we've got a couple of massive mansions, hospital, second RCPD station. I would have thought maybe we had like a town police station, or like a small police department specifically for this town. But I suppose it's right next to River City. That could work. We've got, oh, here we go. So we have got a Brentwood Fire Department. Okay, there we go. Brentwood Guns and Ammo Range. We've got a bit of a lake. Looks pretty nice town. Reminds me of Springfield, honestly. And then right up here at the top, we have River City International Airport. Many of these concept maps have the Liberty County being on an island, completely surrounded by water. But suggestions like this leave the north, east, and south areas of the map free to develop and essentially and expand. The last and arguably one of the best map concepts I have seen in a very long time by Liberty Trooper. And as you can see, this was actually taken and expanded on in the last suggestion. So we're now looking at the original concept art. And I have to say it's really well done. Like, this is very high quality. We'll start with the top and we'll move down to the bottom. Highway 55 extends, but instead of going around the entire map, it actually leads off. I'm guessing the road would be blocked off just past the intersection, but would resemble, well, the road leading up into another county or going to another city at least. And then instead of going around the entire map, we can see it links to State Route 11, which heads down the left side of the map, linking back up with Highway 55. We've got the village of Eagle, which is pretty similar to Springfield. We've got a couple of buildings over here, nothing too crazy, looks like a relatively small town, maybe newly built. Riverside Place over here, which looks to be a couple of houses linking onto Riverside Drive, and then the river also has another stream that comes off, cutting underneath Riverside Drive and then heading down over to the lake by the gun store. A lot of this is pretty normal, but over here on Valley Drive, instead of Valley Drive continuing and linking onto Arbor Lane, which goes into Hansburg, they actually have a roundabout, the first roundabout we have seen in game. And so this links onto Peachtree Road, which then subsequently links onto State Route 11. Interesting. I have to say as well, I've just spotted there's one building here. I'm not sure if this is a house, I'm not sure if this is State Troopers Outpost, but yeah, one lonely building linking onto this road. Now looking over here to the right, we can see two lines that run from the north to the south of the map, or nearly to the south of the map. And this seems to be a railway. Now, I'm not entirely sure where a station would be. There's no stations marked on here, unless building 1101 counts as a station. Either way, a railway running pretty much from the north to the south of the map and linking up places like Springfield and River City. High Rock State Park, so they've actually changed the name just slightly, remains pretty much the same. I don't really see any differences looking at it like this. But instead, the road that stops just below High Rock Park and goes into one of those infinite tunnels actually continues and connects to Riverside Drive. That's interesting, forming a bit of a loop around this new lake here. So Highway 55 actually goes underneath, as you can see, Highway 55 tunnel. This goes underneath the river that connects to Ridgewood Lake. Seems like a pretty nice place to live. We've got a couple of houses down here on the bottom, Lakeview Road. Yeah, a couple of residences around here. Some people may have a summer house here. Looks pretty nice. And we've got a couple of stray buildings as well down here. Done a great job on the intersections as well. We've got some pretty creative ones as well. If we have a look at the one up here, almost like a teardrop shape intersection. I'm not sure. There's probably a specific name for it, but yeah, it looks really nice. Looking at River City, not too much change going on up here, but down at the bottom, as you can see, it's been extended a bit. I'm actually not sure where civilian spawn would be. Here? I guess that's where civilian spawn is, kind of directly in the center, and then it does seem to have extended slightly. We have a road connecting the industrial district with where the bank connects to the tunnel. Lastly, if we head south here, as you can see, we have the Liberty County Municipal Airport. So we have Main Street connecting to Airport Drive, and then a couple of buildings here, which I'd assume are the airport terminals. Now, again, having an airport in Liberty County, given the size of this runway as well, I wouldn't say it's too crazy big. Maybe a couple of private jets, prop planes, but no 747s, that's for sure. In all, I've got to say this is probably one of the best map concepts I've seen. It uses space pretty well, except for this area up here. This is quite empty up here. Apart from that, I think the space is used quite well, extending a lot of roads that just end. So I do like where this map is going. Now, a lot of the community has split opinions on a map expansion. Not everyone is keen on the idea that the developers will expand the map, adding new towns, cities, airports, because with the current server size, everyone will be spread around the map and it's going to be pretty quiet, which I do completely understand. But at the same time, if they were able to increase server sizes after they worked on game performance, it would leave us with some really cool locations to explore. So I'm kind of hoping for a mixture of the two. Currently in game, there are a few locations which are pretty empty. There's not much there at all. Space which I think they could use better. And to be honest, a small map expansion wouldn't hurt, but maybe adding a new city or an entire ocean would be a bit overkill. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm excited to see what the developers have planned for this summer.